In today's lesson, we're going to begin learning how to determine the equation of the line. So let's look at the first example. It says, given the following graph, determine the slope and the y-intercept. So let's look at slope first. So as we've done before, we want to locate two nice points. So I have the point here, and there's a nice point here. Remember, slope is equal to rise over run. And in our graph, we're going up 1, and we're going in the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So our slope is a quarter. Our y-intercept is the point on the line that goes through the y-axis, and that occurs right here. So our y-intercept is -1. Now I want us to compare our slope and our y-intercept with the equation. So I've actually just written it down here for us. Notice the slope, a quarter, appears right before the x in our equation. This, in fact, is always going to be the case. So the coefficient in front of our variable is always going to be the slope. And our y-intercept, which you can see right here, is also in our equation. And notice that I have a -1 there. And in fact, this is always going to be the case, that the constant, or the number that is not multiplied by a variable, is always going to be our y-intercept. Well, let's generalize on this. So given the equation, so I'm just down here, given the equation y equals mx plus b, my m, is defined to be the slope. Remember, slope is the steepness of our line. And b, our b is right here, and it includes the sign. So if you're not sure you're going to remember that, it includes the sign in front of it. So b is defined to be the y-intercept. Alright, so let's look at a second example. Given the equation y equals -3x minus 2, what is the slope? What is the y-intercept? So if you can't remember, maybe every time you want to write y equals mx plus b. And just as up here, we defined m to be our slope. So m in this case is equal to -3. Maybe I'll even write slope here. Our y-intercept, which we've defined up here, b, and it includes our sign, in this case is -2. So it's the number and the sign. And this becomes really useful when we want to graph it. So we've looked at graphing it using t-tables, but there's an alternate method that we can use as well. So with our alternate method, what we're going to do is first we're going to find out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. So given the equation y equals -2/3 x minus 4, find the slope and the y-intercept and graph the equation. So first we're going to find slope, and remember it's y equals mx plus b. Okay, the sign with m also comes. So m in this case is -2/3. And our x-intercept is b, and the sign comes with that, so I have -4. Now remember, the y-intercept is the point on a line that goes through the y-axis. So I have my y-axis here. Okay, so it's all of this. And the y-intercept occurs when it goes through -4. So it's this point here. It is an ordered pair. There are two pieces to the puzzle, an x piece and a y piece. I'm going 0 horizontally, and I'm going -4 down. And now I'm actually going to use my slope to create my second point. Okay, so my slope is, remember, it's rise over run. And if my rise is -2, from my point I'm going to go down to 1, 2, and I'm going to go +3 horizontally, so that means to the right 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to plot my point. 3, so notice it's gone 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -6, and that's our new point. For our line, ideally we would like to have 3 points, so I might do it again. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. And I have another point there. Alternatively, you could have done 2 up and then 3 to the left, because the number would still be negative. So alternatively, you could go on 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. And we've got a 4th point. And the idea is that all of these points come together to create a straight line. I know that we're not all perfect at drawing straight lines, but just do your best. And of course we want the equation on here, y equals -2 over 3x minus 4. Let's do a few more examples. Alright. So we also want to be able to go backwards. We want to be able to take the graph and actually create the equation. So remember, the equation of the line is y equals mx plus b. M is my slope, b is my y-intercept. Okay, so I have this line. Hopefully you guys can see it on your page. And first thing I'm going to write down is I want to know what the slope is. Remember, slope equals m, and I want to know what the y-intercept is. Now we can only do this when we have nice values for our y-intercept. So for example, on this graph, notice that it goes directly through the point x equals 0, y equals -4. If I had something kind of in between, maybe -3 and -4, there's another method that we have to use, which I'll show you next class. So, but this is a nice point, so I can say that the y-intercept is -4. Now to find the slope, I have to find 2 nice points, and this looks like a nice point up here as well. Remember, slope is rise over run, so I'll just write this over here just in case you forget. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So my rise is up 4, my run is 1, 2, 3. So my slope, m, is 4 over 3, and it's positive. My y-intercept is -4. Remember, the y-intercept is b. So with my equation, y equals mx plus b, I have y equals, my slope is 4 over 3, x minus 4 is b. And so all I've done is, where I had a b, I've substituted in my -4. Where I had an m, I substituted in 4/3. And this is our equation of our line. This is our solution. And I can write this on here. Y equals 4 over 3x minus 4. So we have one more. So again, I'm going to write down the equation of the line as y equals mx plus b. M is our slope. B is our y-intercept. So my goal is to find out what m is and what b is. Okay, so first I'm going to look for b and make sure that it has a nice integer value. So integer means no decimals, no fractions, and in this case our y-intercept is 5, so that's a nice one. Then I'm going to find a second nice point. So it looks like this point way down here is pretty nice. Okay, remember, slope is rise over run. My rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my rise is 6. My run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So m is 6 over 5, so I'm going to substitute that in. My b is 5. And so I'm going to substitute this in. So I end up with y equals m is 6 over 5 x plus b is 5. Okay, and I can put that on my graph here. Y equals 6 over 5x plus 5. And that's all for today.